What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay Weezy. Welcome to Jay Weezy's World. So it is Sunday, 9:57 in the morning, and it's time to get set for the week. So last week I had a video that I recorded. Turn this AC. Hopefully you guys don't hear the AC too much. It's Arizona. I gotta run the AC. But last week I sat there and I videoed the entire meal prep. I videoed me. So what I did as far as food last week, I made some chicken breasts and I made some pot roast. And so I pulled out the slow cooker, threw the pot roast in there, seasoned it up, threw all kinds of onions and garlic and all that. And I made some chicken breasts and did, some other, vegetables, carbohydrates, what have you. I go to get the video on my phone because I like to, I choose between either my phone or my laptop when it comes to editing. And I like to do my editing for my longer form videos on my laptop. That's just a personal preference. Hey, babe.
Hey.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, baby.
You're fine.
Bye. All right, so the wife was checking in. So had everything on there. For those that don't know, I use a GoPro. So I download everything to the GoPro app if I'm using my phone to edit my video, or I will upload it to my laptop to edit the video there. Long story short, I'm thinking I'm deleting the video off my phone because I just chose to go ahead and let me just edit this on my laptop. But I deleted it off the GoPro app like a fool. And that entire video, I'm talking like, I had the breakdown of, chop it down, butterflying the chicken breast and seasoning it and all that. And so it's one of those things where like you spent time doing this, and so like it gets aggravating, but it's like, it is what it is. But I apologize, last week I didn't have a video up because I personally know that some people, I get inspo from others and watching how they cook to kind of get ideas. And so I think that there's a little bit of what I do that maybe gives people a little inspo or a little and you might not know how to cook. And so I'm not saying I'm the best, but ideally there's some takeaways from the content that I put out. So with that said, I have my list on my phone for my juicing and for the meals. I'm gonna be cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And what I've been doing that I mentioned in my previous videos is that I cook for 3 days at a time, where I do Monday through Wednesday, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And for a minute I wasn't doing dinner, but now I'm like, between the gym, the commute to work and itself, I'm like, look, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make dinner. It's very easy just to pop the meal inside the oven, warm it up, and just enjoy my night. And I do it 3 days at a time because I feel like the food starts to taste like the refrigerator after a few days. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can feel me with that. And I know there's people that do 5-7 days at a time. That's just my personal preference. But I know innately people have a built-in anxiety when they're getting set on Sundays. All right, cool, we're gonna meal prep and we're gonna do this. And I'm getting set for the work week, and there's this anxiety that kind of comes over some people. Me sometimes, not always. But what I did notice is that when I'm doing my meal prep for Thursday, Friday, because I'll just cook on the weekends, I don't meal prep for the weekends. I just make sure I have what I need to, keep on track to cook, meaning what type of meals and what type of foods. But I noticed it's the inverse on Wednesdays. It's like, hey, it's like a cool, we're midway through the week, it feels good. It's like, all right, let's knock out this meal prep for Thursday, Friday, and knock the rest of this week out. So again, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get this grocery shopping done because it's 10:02 now. I like to have everything done by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock ideally, because again, juicing, cleaning, I'm a clean as I go person. So do the cleaning and then the meal prep, and so I want everything to be done if I can by 3 or 4 o'clock, and that's the goal. So we'll see what time we end up finishing up at. So wish me luck. Let's get this day started. All right, guys, so back at the crib and show you guys what I got really quick. So first I got some steak, chimichurri steak. Got this organic asparagus spears. We got some salmon. Been kind of into these. I'm not really a big soda person, but I really like these as of late. Fresh kale for the juice, some Cara oranges, some limes for the salmon later, ginger and turmeric, of course, bell pepper and onion for my egg bakes, and some more kale, some basmati rice, the petite potatoes, rose gold medley, and then I got some lunch meat and some cheese just as a quick meal if I need to, just something in case I'm hungry, and then some sourdough bread. That's pretty much it. Go ahead and get this underway. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this cooking started and get this meal prep wrapped up. So I've got these boneless, skinless chicken thighs from Pastor Bird. I love their packaging. Take a look. Nice, airtight, not a bunch of juice just sloshing around. Now, what I want to do really quick is just ask you guys if you find value in looking at this process, the prep, the seasoning, all of that. If you find value, please leave a comment in the comment section. I'm always down to get some feedback. And more importantly, the reason why I ask is it's all about the education and sharing things with each other, picking up tips and tricks, what have you. And, I'm trying to romanticize the cooking process because it definitely is easy just to stop and pick up something to eat. So to prep, and especially prep, where you're pretty much doing everything, it takes a lot of time. So I love to hear your guys' feedback. And again, I want to show you guys this because it's all about just being able to educate each other and lean on each other for information. So I got my go-to seasonings. I got the Himalayan pink salt. I have the garlic powder, onion powder, turmeric, cumin. I believe I said pepper, and then I have this Cajun seasoning from a local business here in Phoenix. I love going to it. When it's honestly the one bottle lasts a long time. And keep in mind, guys, cumin a little bit goes a long way, so don't overdo it. I use that avocado oil as a binder before I put the seasoning on. So when I go ahead and mix it around, massage it into the meat, don't just put the seasoning on. Get in there. Get your hands in there. Mix up the seasonings in the cracks and crevices to ensure that flavor is all throughout the chicken or whatever it is that you're making. So for me, this is going to be primarily, this chicken, I should say, is going to be for my lunch at work. And then the steak and the other stuff I'm going to make is going to be for dinner. Look at the color on that. Look at the color. Got the little fat on there. Looking good. Let me know what you guys' thoughts on how that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the grill. I love this electric grill. I've had it for about 5 or 6 years now. I'm gonna go ahead and add these chicken thighs to the grill. If I can grill all my meats, that's gonna be my go-to, just because it's quick, easy, simple. Now I'm gonna go ahead and prep these petite potatoes. First thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is wash them. Right. So I'm gonna grab this container here. Go ahead, always wash your potatoes. I know they might do that at the store or the factory. No. Wash your potatoes to make sure you get all that dirt off because it's going to impact the flavor of it, and it's just nasty. Now, with each one of these potatoes, depending on the size of it, I might cut it in twos or I might cut it in fours. And again, forgive me for the cutting board. I use turmeric so much when I'm doing my juicing that it kind of stain the board a little bit, and I'm not just going to throw it away. I clean it, make sure it's good. So, but I just want to call it out. Now, one thing I do want to say that I've picked up is putting my potatoes in some water along with some salt to get that excess starch out. Because if you just throw it in the oven or air fryer to cook right away, it doesn't taste as good. It's not as crispy. It kind of tastes starchy. And so I'm going to let this sit here for probably about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw them in the air fryer. This is the results of that chicken. Looking good, golden brown, and it was good. I'm honestly, I just had one of the meals here just a few minutes ago. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on this chimichurri steak. Again, Sprouts, their chimichurri steak is fire, and low key, kind of off the menu. If you ask them for just the chimichurri, you can go ahead and marinate your own meats. If you want to do some shrimp, whatever you want to go ahead and do, they will sell it to you. And I found it out just by asking. All right, so potatoes are done soaking. I'm gonna go ahead and season these up and throw them inside the air fryer. Oven, I can throw them in there, but for me, the air fryer is gonna be quick and easy. I love this Chosen Brands avocado spray. It's 0 calories. Look at the new watch. It's 0 calories. Let me spray some of that down. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the potatoes down, and then again get some of the seasoning. Not all the same seasoning. Little salt, pepper, some of that Cajun. Throw some of that spray on top of it, like I just did there, so you can make sure that the seasoning sticks to the potatoes. And then one thing I wanted to finish off was this. What is this? I think Italian parsley. It gives the potatoes a nice little, commercial look. Yeah, oregano. So, and in the air fryer, what you want to make sure you do, for me, the potatoes take about 20 to 30 minutes to cook. Make sure that you're flipping them midway through, checking on them, and look at those. Nice golden brown, crispy. The seasonings, I think that looks great. Go ahead and put these in a container. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is just sit these off to the side. I have my kitchen table, so whenever I'm done with something, I sit over there, let it cool off. I know some people have a habit of just taking their food and immediately putting it into the refrigerator. That can cause issues, especially with meat. But just to FYI, let your food cool down before you put it in the refrigerator. Now I'm gonna go ahead and work on these asparagus. I have these Sprouts brand asparagus, and I have 2 bags, so I can only fit 1 bag in at a time. You guys know how it is. Once you cook asparagus, it kind of shrinks down just a little bit. Use some of that spray underneath and on the top. Again, I'm going to season this up, pop it in the air fryer, and this is the final result of this first batch of asparagus. I've been honestly hooked on asparagus, kale, and broccoli the last few weeks. Broccoli was my go-to for a while. I might switch it up with asparagus, but that kale has been kicking though the last few weeks, and so I wanted to do some asparagus with the chicken and potatoes, and plus they're just easy to cook, right? And I throw them in there frozen. I don't thaw them out. I just throw them in there frozen. Look at that, nice. They look crispy, but trust me, they're not too crispy. Here's that steak, nice and done. Got that good bend to it. I'm gonna throw them in this container and again set it off to the side with the other meat and veggies and let it cool down before I start to put them in containers and put them in the refrigerator to cool down and get set for the work week. So now finally, because I know it looks quick because of the video, but I'm a few, like at least an hour or two into the prep here because everything that's going in. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my egg bakes. You guys know I love my egg bakes. This week I'm gonna go ahead and do bell pepper, onion, and Canadian bacon. I had 2 of these Canadian bacons done. I had another pack, but I'm not gonna open up another pack. 2 was enough because a little goes a long way because you're only putting these in cupcake tins. You don't need a whole bunch of meat and a whole bunch of things going inside of it. I got this leftover onion. Again, I'm not trying to be wasteful with anything. So I'm going to dice up the bell peppers, dice up the onions, mix them together, and then I'm going to set that over to the side so I can go ahead and get these eggs cracked and get things going. Now, I have these cage-free large eggs that I get from Sprouts. For 6 of these egg bakes, I'm going to be using 8 large eggs. And so I'm going to go ahead and get all these cracked up, whipped up. And you know what's funny? Growing up as a kid, I'm left-handed. And I don't know about you guys, people always make fun of left-handed people. Oh, you're different. Oh, man. So when people will see me making eggs, like, oh man, the eggs aren't going to taste the same. I'm like, what does that even mean? But I don't know if you guys ever been told that for any lefties out there, but I've heard that in my entire life. So now, wifey went ahead and got some of these tins last week, and so I want to go ahead and use this. I do have a cupcake sheet, but I just went with this week. Throw some of that spray in there. Make sure it's coated around. That way the egg doesn't stick. For you guys that have ever tried this or put egg in any kind of dish, it will stick, and egg is very difficult to go ahead and wash. So for the tin pan that I do have or that I do own, that I use on a weekly basis, I definitely am going to make sure I put that in there so it's easy to clean afterwards. So a little bit of onion, a little bit of bell pepper, a little bit of the Canadian bacon. Now keep in mind that when you're putting the egg in, the egg does rise kind of like a muffin. And so you're not going to want to just tip top to the top. I have about 90% filled up, and I'm keeping in mind that this is going to be something that's going to rise, and I just don't want it to roll over to the side or anything like that. So here's the egg bake finished product. Nice and colorful with the seasonings. And then they're also dense too, so I'm going to show it to the side here. Let me go ahead and pop one of these out. And you can see the onion, Canadian bacon, bell pepper. And again, they're so easy to warm up to the next day. Put it about a minute or two inside the microwave at work. Good to go. Got my new scale here. Super excited that I got this. Just because I've had my old one for a long time. And I thought I'd show you guys just me weighing my stuff out. So I'm going to have 4 ounces of chicken. And then with these potatoes, based on the macro counter, it's about 144 grams per serving. So I'm going to do a half because I just feel like it's a lot of potato just to have in one meal. And trust me, I would put the 144 without no problem, trust me, and smash it. But I just want to be cognizant of just my portion size. And we'll take a look at the final product. That said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for checking out the video. I love to hear your guys' comments. On the road to 200 subs, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.